Yeah. Okay. Good. Hello, everyone. Today we have interesting topic to discuss, and I will be the one leading it. Everyone's probably interested. Well, first, we might be unexpectedly surprised by Ethereum rally, and which brings with it some altcoins. And that brings the question: sustainable, not sustainable? How can we understand, has it arrived to the top or not? Important questions, no doubts about it. So we will look into it. I will be today without Brian, so it will be shorter, as I usually don't spend so much time analyzing things. Either you understand it fast, or if you don't understand it, you just need to wait a few more days and then you understand it. There is not many reasons to over-intellectualize it, or over-rationalize it. So what I was looking before the stream, it's the search of alt season, or search for alt season in social medias. You know that we have original version of what is now called Mania with social dominance, where you can form your query and you see how many conversations are around the topic. And on the screen now, of course, green is the price, and I took as a price here Ethereum, not Bitcoin. And blue and red, blue is social volume and red is dominance / mind share for alt season. We've been quite a few times fooled by many conversation alt season, but it was not. Even though when we look in this chart, what we see is an interesting thing is that strong. Well, by strong dominance, I usually mean at least 1%, and we've seen quite a few times. Yeah, here 1% is somewhere here. Where's my now cursor is? Once we reach this level, it means participants are mostly they're talking about, and the convinced alt season is here. The previous, and it's important, yeah, alt season is what makes us believe or take more risk to put into altcoins, if any of you have portfolio in altcoins. And it also usually kind of like final step into crypto market development. Yeah, so majors, there used to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, but this time it was long time only Bitcoin. Ethereum was struggling. Now Ethereum picked up, almost came to like all-time high, almost. And then the rest is picking up, and we can see in the price action now it's quite broad. Not everything, but quite broad. At least all-time was like, I don't know, even Uniswap. We still don't know what is the value there, but yeah. Also, they don't share much value with the token. And those who share value, like Curve, they're pumping really strong. And ENS and Maker and many coins. So it's a real alt season which typically closes the cycle, yeah, before we go to correction. So when I was looking at the chart, that's why we pay attention to alt season. It's a quite known pattern, and whenever I share, when we talk together with Brian, I bring it up, these divergences, like strong interest, conviction, or let's say point of recognition. Yes, we're here. That will be the highest value. And then we start diverging. So market is still going for some time, but you see that discussion about alt season, in this case, going down, or whatever is the narrative, it will be going down. It was here, around this top, yeah, like around here top. Then it was here, yeah, we spiked and then we start diverging. So let's say it's safe to assume we will see something, or we should look something similar here. Yeah, for something similar here. We can take, let's say, shorter time frame and then decrease to 4 hours. Yeah, not there yet, yeah. So we take the risk, and we always have to take the risk anyway. assuming, okay, as long as dominance of discussion about altseason growing, we might be not at the top yet. And there is another pattern which is not so frequent, but it does happen. Actually, I think here it was something similar. Is a sudden, very strong spike, like double from average volume. Here we have, let's say, around 1%, but then on one specific day we spiked almost to 2%. So this strong readings for social related metrics, it means that suddenly it get to the hype level and like really many people talking about. So either we see divergence or very strong hype that could help us to identify the top. Yeah. By the way, when I came to the conversation, I didn't have specific opinion of the top or not, and it's a good. Every day I believe we should approach the market like this. We don't have too strong opinion. We just look at the data, we look at conversations on media, we analyze some on-chain, which will come shortly, and then should let our analysis speak, not that we come with too strong impressions. That's why I'm forming now my opinion on the market as we speak, as I look into a specific set of data. And from this social tool that this is aggregated across all media we're tracking, and we can look into details. I don't think in this specific case it will be as important as we would look for when it's social dominance / market for some coin, because in some coins you can see interesting or difference in patterns between Telegram volume, Reddit volume, and Twitter. Here it's most likely, actually, even though it's a bit interesting that the last time altseason was spiking strongly, or this double X looks like came from Telegram and Reddit, less from Twitter. Twitter behaved very classically, strong increase in the middle of price discovery, price recognition. It's a point of recognition, very strong, and then start diverging. We might, after looking into general picture, now I'm thinking we should revisit this chart in a few days, and you can do it by yourself. On our platform, I think this part is still no need to even subscription for specifically Twitter or X as a data source. So far as it looks like it's been increasing, but unless this divergence, you can say that today is a kind of divergence. If it's not being resolved during the day, the US session is still ahead of us, and we see tomorrow whatever the price is, but that was on 16th of July, like 2 days ago. If that was the highest reading, okay, we should probably start preparing to unwind our positions. Yeah. For Chan, now it's even more interesting. So we look for divergences on Twitter, as I said, now just last 2 minutes. And for Chan, indeed, this is where we should look for this second pattern, which are called like explosion. Probably it's based on a kind of set of participants who are usually engaged in 4chan discussions. You see that during recognition phase, it was, normal value, not extremely high, lower than on Twitter, but then at the very, almost at the very top, that's really got an explosion. Yeah, good. So we look for explosion on 4chan and divergence on Twitter. If I see both, that's it. Bitcoin talk, I don't expect much. It's low volumes, forecast even less. Yeah. Okay, that was the first thing which I want to look into. On our social media research tool, you can really look for many things. Maybe just a few more minutes. I was looking into one specific. I opened it another window, but it's not much interesting. If ETFs, or not ETFs, like MicroStrategy and similar, all these vehicles which are now being used to attract capital and to bring Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other tokens probably will follow on your balance sheets if there is any interesting patterns. But we need to extend our social search query quite a lot because of many new players in the market. I checked my latest query, it's not updating yet everything which is relevant. So why don't we go to some on-chain? Let me do it. So interesting would be, yeah, why not we look into, I will switch now, sharing to another screen. Give me a second. Yeah. Borrowing rates, what I'm looking here for. There is a long list of metrics and charts which I do like to analyze almost on daily basis, especially when the market going down. Looking for liquidations, prove to be very reliable indicator of bottoms. But now we're definitely not see liquidations. What we looking for, even on the first chart, you see this yellow line. It's totally supplied of DAI in SDC. It's a Sky new version of DAI into the stable yield vehicles. And MakerDAO was called DESA, and his how to call Sky saving rates, something like this. The logic behind, remember where behavior analysis, the logic behind is if people tend to bring their stables for what seems to be the best risk-reward mechanics, and they don't pay much at the moment, 4.5%. It means they don't believe that they can place it anywhere else, or there is not enough reward for the take the risk. And it's most of the time on a growing market, it would mean a wall of worry, and we saw it. And we saw it here. You see yellow line on a market first push that was increasing. At some point of time, this behavior changed, pretty much at the top or around the top. And the amount of DAI and USDC supply to the stable mechanics dropped significantly, and we have for a long time kind of ranging market. And for quite a long time, 13th of May till 16th of June. Oh, not bad, 1 month long. Then again, there was enough worry on the market, and we can see this worry is reflected or lack of confidence that again money is being deployed into the stable yield. Yeah, it was increasing and then it's like vertically went up, especially when the Ethereum was last push to correct to 2,100. And since then it stays more or less stable. And so enough worry and confidence shown to the market, and market can grow, which it has been doing very nicely since 22nd of June, almost 1 month too. So now I would say, looking at this chart alone, if we see for the purpose of spotting the top, the same behavior like here before, that amount of USDC DAI being removed from this stable reward and deployed somewhere else like this, like here, going down rapidly, okay, we are on the top. So we combine it with what we just look into alt season, look into details. Do we see divergence on Twitter, and do we see massive spike on 4chan? We look at this chart. If there is strong redeployment of stable 4.5% to somewhere else, not yet visible, even though it started to decrease, but it's not so rapid like here. Yeah. It just give us more and more reason to believe we are really on the top. Yeah? Total borrowings, okay, it's it was growing for a long time. And another indicator, yes, which is here also, I like to look into. We even had it a few days ago. Okay, so it's a yield which you get on compound, specifically compound, because it's not really being developed much. So but there is enough money supplied there. So if there is a strong demand request for stablecoins, it usually spikes, especially strong on compound on USDC. And you can see how much yield those who provide liquidity on compound getting for this not doing anything. Yeah? And we've seen quite, and this is this brown line. It was quite significant, even spiked almost to 11%. Haven't seen it for a long time. Okay, word of warning, it can stay elevated for quite some time. It's just first signs. Yeah, for instance, go back a little bit here, and let me remove others line so that it doesn't. We'll leave only this. Okay. So you see it's can start spiking, going down, spiking, going down. And usually from last experience, it should go around 20%. Yeah. Once you see it's going up and down around 20%, okay, this is very close to top. We don't seem to be there yet, but the first signs are emerging. So be careful, we're getting there. Be careful, and remember, we still look at that season, and Twitter, and 4chan, and we look at total money in safe haven in MakerDAO and Sky ecosystem. Okay. Yeah, as I said, the behavior of, for instance, on Aave, like DAI or even USDT, they're a bit more stable. They don't spike for a long time because the Seeker system is bigger and being addressed much faster. Okay, for the rest it's not important. They're mostly relevant when we spot for the bottom, just so you understand, yeah, this is massive spikes of liquidation which come often with the bottom. Okay, here we researched. Now, of course, if we should be nearing the top, it will also be visible on Bitcoin metrics. Everything is visible on Bitcoin metrics. Okay, I didn't look into this chart a long time. Behavior of small hodlers should be accumulated with all possible means, and big hodlers depend. Sometimes they buy into the top, sometimes not, but you always want to look into small hodlers. No, they've been not accumulating at all. Okay, see a little risk here at the moment at least. Yeah. They've been a little bit, as you see on the chart here, and this time they've been accumulating, and it did follow with the market decline, which we saw from this 12th of June till 22nd of June. Since then, the declining. Maybe they're moving into Ethereum, Memecoins, I have no idea. But they don't show typical risky behavior, like start buying Bitcoin with all possible means. Also, network on a network level, amount of profits be taken kind of okay, especially taken account. We've seen recently some spikes, and more or less on way up and down there are some profit taken. It's not bad. Last 6 months, yeah. And yeah, I also like to see total amount of hodlers. Yeah, increasing, not massively. Looks okay. And weighted sentiment, I guess. Interesting. It's not even too positive for Bitcoin. For the last time, very positive. It was here. Yeah, it was the top. So you could say it's not really very, very bullish for Bitcoin for whatever reason. Also like this. Okay, wait. I like this formula. Yeah, it's a positive, but not extreme. Interesting. So maybe Bitcoin will come back soon. after this period of Ethereum prosperity, if even it's still a bit short. And yeah, mean dollar invested age. How did it move over the last? It's not bad. We can see quite intensive redistribution. This looks healthy. Okay, the rest is too detailed, and actually for current stage of the market, like MVRV, I don't expect anything extremely. We've been not moving too much lately, and yeah, and it does show okay, 24%. It's positive. I would not buy in this level, but it's not extremely to say this is definitely the top. What we can also look, actually take some ERC20 and we look there. And there we'll be looking for divergences on network activities, maybe spikes in funding rates. Yeah, let's see which one should I take. Which one should I take? Maybe Link. I've seen some mentions of Link recently. So I wonder, was it okay? Let me save this link and share now on screen. Так. Loading. Okay, something on the screen. Good. What we see here is again set of charts, which we call behavior stub for ERC20. And it has plenty of metrics, of which I will look first into founding rates. Okay, aggregated founding rate by asset. Okay, well, that's positive. Okay, that's the first. That's the first warning sign. You see this huge green spike, which actually happened today. It started to grow yesterday. Okay, that looks dangerous. Okay, interesting. There was a long period of kind of market indecisive, positive, negative, positive. Now it's everything's green and with a huge spike. That doesn't look good. Okay, let's see more. Total amount of hodlers. Okay, there is nothing special. Twitter followers growing. Dev activity is not important for this kind of analysis at the moment. Okay, this is what I want to see. Last 3 months, and I will look into. Okay. Again, this looks okay. What I'm looking into here, red bars, red pink bars, it's daily active addresses, network activity on daily basis. And well, it's intraday metric, but for the 24 hours rolling window. And if we see some typical sign of divergence, like for instance, here, in this period of time, you see price keep pushing up, but just red pinks start going down, yellow, which is new address security, start going down, and MVRV too, but it's already more advanced. Let me even remove MVRV, just to keep two. It's basic, but from my experience, it's more than enough for most of the cases. So when we see this setup, like right here, price keep pushing, this basic metric start going down. That's it. That's really final stage, or is already way on the top. We are not seeing this yet. I would call network growth a kind of stalling or start diverging, but network activity is still strong. Still strong. Cannot call the top here. Need to follow my own framework. And also this one. That's an interesting metric. I'm not sure we touch it with Brian often. It's a kind of formula, simple formula, where I take in all active addresses, what is the percentage of those involved into exchange with activity of exchanges. People are depositing to exchanges. So if this activity is high, like we here see, it means there is some level of kind of worries, concerns. So it's healthy for the continued growth. as long as start declining, okay, it's not healthy anymore. It's not a major metric. As you see here, there are some exceptions. There could be some whatever events which skew it. But when I see growing network activity and growing activity involving exchanges, it means people depositing in exchanges, people realizing profits. It means not believing in further growth. I cannot say on the top. Yeah? This is not enough. We could be a temporarily top just because of this immense funding rate we've seen. That's possible. We could be there for weekend. Maybe weekend good time. Let's start longs being liquidated. But all other metric shows it's still quite healthy. No divergences here. To my own surprise, yeah. Okay, average fees increasing, which is midterm not a good sign. The moment we start seeing elevated fees on Ethereum network, it means a lot of speculators there. They see a lot of opportunities. They are back to the market, which brings quite soon to the top. But at the same time, in the early stages, we just started to increase it. It was almost non-existent for quite a long time. Start increasing. Initially, it's okay. It means there will be supporting power to the market. Okay. And maybe there are many other metrics we could look into, like for Link it maybe makes sense to look into MVRV 30 days. Let me remove this one, no need. Yeah, you see the last top. Typically for altcoins, anything above 30%. Let me see, let me show. MVRV 30 days, show access, yeah. Everything above 30%, oh, we're almost there, 29%. Everything above 30%, it's like we're really in a risk territory. Yeah? When we're going up, yeah. On the way down, it even temporarily bounce can stop on 20-22%. MVRV is on average for the last 30 days, those who've been engaged into network activity, are they on average on profit, then positive, or on loss, then it's negative. So we're getting into dangerous territory, so I cannot exclude, and probably I'm leaning towards we will have short-term move down, but we should make probably one top more. Yeah, and it's very normal for MVRV to show at the end some kind of divergence too, as you can see here on this chart. Yeah, this is how, fortunately or unfortunately, the end of the move up and down is always irrational. It's like, it cannot sustain. And probably some of participants know it, but still they participate. Grid is very strong. Good. Probably I would stop on it. We have a good round around starting from alt season, look into Ethereum, then also covering Bitcoin, and finally pick up one of the altcoins to form the whole picture. For me, as I say, last 2-3 days, quite likely correction, but doesn't look like a terminal move down. Max, if you have any questions, we can look into them. No questions. I see on the chat Solana next step. What does it mean? What do you think? What does it mean? No ideas? Okay. Yeah, actually, you know what? I know that we've built. It's a kind of early announcement. I know that we've built. It's not official in production. It is actually in production too, but we've built for Solana and top Memecoins quite some or most important metrics. We should be discussing now: network activity, network growth, transaction volumes. I think it's even close to get released supply distribution. And we can look into Solana, definitely an interesting case. Let's see, last 6 months, active. Okay, so well, we have a gap, looks like for some date, it's still missing. What about network growth? That's why we're not announcing it yet. There are some, so for Solana, it's a kind of missing. We can take some, maybe Bonk is good example. There, no, it's okay. So let's take Bonk, 3 months. Well, doesn't look divergent to my eye. Looks very, Max, does it look divergent? Looks actually exponential. Wow, this is quite a spike. And as a matter of fact, wait a second. I think I even had a chart layout for it, because I was on one side doing quality assurance, on the other side looking carefully into Bonk as a good example of madness on the market. Let's see. Okay, here is a chart layout for any of you who wanted to look into it. It has, of course, green as a price, and then on one first chart I compare active addresses with social dominance. Another one, network growth with transaction activities, and the third one is purely volume. So from all the charts, I see only social dominance kind of struggling. And even though in this case, I think most likely because of pump fund attention or Mania moved there. All others looks quite okay. And even, let's see, here, transaction volume, if we aggregate it by 12 hours, where we'll get, I don't see divergence here. And why I'm so looking for it, and most, like 95% of the tops are built on divergence, like here in May 25, yeah, we've been building tops, but you see the transaction volume start diverging, they couldn't catch up anymore. It always has an explanation. Those who have coins don't see a reason to move it around, because they started to believe they will go higher. And this is the main reason you don't see it so high transaction volumes. And I don't see it yet. And there is not enough new buying power to push it higher. So like two forces, and eventually it just comes down. We're not there yet. Okay, interesting to see. Cannot believe, but I have to. As I said in the beginning, you go to analyze with as empty as possible mind. And just to accept reality. And here's also last stop, it was built both on transaction volume and, as we see now, an active addresses is divergency. Yeah, it also went down. And definitely tops are coming on social dominance, but again, as we've seen pump fund release, it's where it moved. And network growth looks healthy too. Don't have enough yet data in front of me to say, yeah, that's the ultimate top. We might be there during the next week, and then we'll discuss it next week, but not now yet. That was about, I seen on the screen in our streaming sentence Solana next steps, so this should reflect Solana too. If Max, no questions raised, we can close with this. Yeah, this one, yeah, Solana next step. We discussed Solana in the Memecoin ecosystem, next steps. But with Memecoins, it's rotating, so it might be, Bonk might be relaxed for some time and goes somewhere else and then comes back. And I'm not really deep into all the narratives and conversations in the memes ecosystem to predict where it will go next. Just the ultimate top doesn't seem to be there yet. Okay. Then everyone, have a good weekend. The market behavior supports some good feelings. Let's hope it will not be destroyed, as it happened quite a few times over weekend with some unexpected political, economical developments. Yep. Have a good weekend, and see you next Friday.